Hey everyone, it's Dylan from Mathias Brothers Real Estate at Vanguard Property. And today I'm going to be talking about a term. It's a term that I guarantee most of you have never heard in your life before. And this term is house hacking. I'm going to explain what it is and why it's so important, especially for those living in Sonoma County who do not think they can afford a house or afford the monthly payments to get into a house. And I want to lead on by saying, if you ask 10 people who bought a house 20 or 30 years ago, if they regret making that decision of buying their house, I guarantee 10 out of 10 of them are gonna say it was the best investment they ever made. As long as they did not default on it, I guarantee they said it was the best investment they ever made. So it's all about starting young because it's the time value of money, and then it's also the compound effect. Their financial terms, as long as you know that if you get in, the earlier you get in to buying a house, the better off you're gonna be. And you're gonna be sitting back in retirement thanking me that I got you into a house early on. So the ways we can do it, there's 5 different ways. If you do not think you can buy a house, here they are. First one, if you are a first-time home buyer, you can buy a 2 to 4 unit property, put a low down payment down, 3.5%, and then rent out the other units to pay for your mortgage. Your mortgage is gonna be higher, and with places like Sonoma County where prices are higher, but you also get a lot more appreciation than other places in the United States, there are 2 different things you might have to do. Either you'll have to put a higher down payment down so that your monthly mortgage is lower to have the other units offset your mortgage, or you'll have to rent out the other bedrooms in the house that you're living in to cover that. So there's multiple ways to do it. I can help you and figure it out, but just so you know, that's the general idea of what it is. The other one is pretty similar. What you'll do is you'll buy a 2 to 4 unit building, same as before, but you will, and this is for a little bit, someone that's down to get their hands a little bit more dirty. So they'll rent out the other units and they'll rent out all the units, the place that they're living in as well, and they'll create a barrier in their living room. And it's almost creating a new bedroom for you to live in, and then you Airbnb or rent out the other bedrooms that you're living in, plus the other units that you bought. The third way of doing it, for those of you who don't think they can buy a multi-unit building right off the bat, buy a single family residence, and while you're young and you don't have a family or whatnot, you will buy a single family residence, and even if you do have a family, rent out the other rooms in your house that you're not using to friends, anyone that you know that you get along with, rent out those rooms to help pay for your mortgage. It's brilliant. A fourth way is the most down and dirty. If you're willing to really sacrifice a lot to create a better life for yourself down the road, this is what you gotta do. It's not for the faint of heart. Not many people are willing to do this, but you will buy a single family house. You will rent out the whole house to someone to help pay for the mortgage, and then you'll live in a motorhome or something like that in the front yard or somewhere on the property. And so you're not paying any rent. You're living in that and renting out your whole house and letting someone else pay for your mortgage. The last way is we call it the more luxury. It's for the people that have a family, don't really want other people in their house, whatnot. And living in Sonoma County, there are plenty of properties that have this. What you'll do is you'll buy a single family house, you'll live in the single family house, and you'll rent out a second unit that's on the property somewhere. Sonoma County has tons of these. They're all over the place, so it's not gonna be hard to find. So those are the 4 ways, and it's a lot easier than you think. The numbers make sense if you're willing to sacrifice a little bit while you're young to get into home ownership and start building the equity into your house as the years go on. So I wanna end off by apologizing for my drawing skills. They're horrible, I know. Stay with me, I'm working on it. But anyways, have a good night everyone, and I'll see you next time.